Azerbaijan television with the most important events of the day. I'm your host, Lidiu Senli. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, received members of the Azerbaijani team participating in the 7th U23 European Wrestling Championship, which was held in Bulgaria.
Calling the successful performance of our young wrestlers at the recent European Wrestling Championship in Bulgaria, where they won 16 medals, 7 of which were gold, with the Azerbaijani team claiming the first place among the teams, a great achievement. The head of state said that to become the first in Europe in the face of growing competition and emerging of strong athletes is great success. Congratulating the athletes, their coaches and the Wrestling Federation, President Ilham Aliyev said that wrestling is our national sport and our wrestlers have always decently represented Azerbaijan in various competitions. We have many Olympic champions, world and European champions. Wrestling traditions in Azerbaijan are quite strong, and it is gratifying that now the younger generation continues these traditions, the head of state said, stressing that we were the first among youth in Europe at the championship with the participation of 34 countries. President Ilham Aliyev expressed hope that our athletes will continue to represent decently our country. Noting that the recent processes in the Wrestling Federation caused concern and stagnation was felt, the mechanism for managing the federation was weakened. President Ilham Aliyev said that this also had a negative impact on the results, so there was a need to change the leadership of the Wrestling Federation, and this happened. The head of state expressed confidence that the federation will eliminate all the shortcomings, analyze the situation, and this work had already begun and appropriate conditions will be created for all athletes. Recalling that after the election of the president of the National Olympic Committee, he set the task of creating conditions for athletes in order to achieve the results from them. The head of state said that these two main factors form the basis of our great success. Expressed confidence that the Wrestling Federation and the Ministry of Sports, together with the coaches, would take correct steps and assess the current victory as the first indicator of the work done. At meetings with the sports community, I have repeatedly said that sport is our state policy and sport dismantles the strengths of each country, President Ilham Aliyev said, adding that the ratings of countries in the Olympic Games show that representatives of developed countries usually achieve the greatest success. Touching upon the need to maintain leadership in the sports field, the head of state recalled the very good attitude of international sports organizations towards Azerbaijan, and as evidence of this cited two world-class events held in our country, the European Games and the Islamic Solidarity Games. Focusing on close cooperation with international sports organizations, the International Olympic Committee, the European Olympic Committees and international federations, which contributes to the proper implementation of sports policy in Azerbaijan, President Ilham Aliyev noted that sporting events in the country should become regular. Recalling the high appreciation of the major competitions organized in Azerbaijan, the head of state said that we have created all these conditions so that athletes always glorify our state and so that sports become widespread. This is one of the tasks that I set before the Minister of Youth and Sports, the new leadership to ensure the mass character of sports and use the existing infrastructure in all regions, said President Ilham Aliyev, emphasizing the need to properly select talented children and involve them in sports sections. Stressing that the example of our famous athletes, Olympic champions, world champions, European champions should also be a stimulus for young people, President Ilham Aliyev said that they should also strive to be like our famous athletes, expressing satisfaction that the sport community of Azerbaijan and our athletes, the vast majority of them are also an example in life, and so it should be. Positively evaluating the prospects for wrestling, the head of state expressed confidence that in the coming years we would succeed at the Olympic Games. There would be quite a lot of world championships. Noting that today the athletes represent the winning country, President Ilham Aliyev stressed that by participating as an independent country in major sports competitions, we acted as a country with occupied territories. We had to prove and proved that we have strengths and the will and skill and strengths that we have demonstrated in the international sports arena will also be shown on the battlefield. The head of state noted that the sports factor plays a very important role in the patriotic education of the people and youth, stressed that it was these patriotic feelings, love, devotion to the motherland that played the main role in the patriotic war, adding that we have a strong army, equipment, weapons and ammunition. But it was the selflessness, devotion of the soldiers to the motherland that determined our victory. For almost 30 years we've been performing on international arenas, both at sports and political arenas as a country which suffered defeat, said President Ilham Aliyev, and emphasized that we must know this and tell the truth as it is. The head of state noted the reasons for this defeat: the betrayal of the then anti-national government, the absence of the army, the assistance to Armenia from foreign states, the factors that led to the defeat. But the truth was that our lands were occupied and we had to prove that we would liberate our lands from invaders at any cost, and so we did, said President Ilham Aliyev, and stressed that the successes achieved, including in the sports, raising of our flag, The performance of the anthem further strengthened the feelings of patriotism, showing each of us if we can defeat athletes representing the enemy at sports competitions, then we will definitely win on the battlefield. Stressing that today they represent another Azerbaijan, they are representatives of the victorious people, the head of state expressed confidence that this feeling should be in their hearts when entering the arena. Today, not only citizens of Azerbaijan, but also Azerbaijanis all over the world feel confident in the countries where they live. They proudly tell the truth about Azerbaijan, about the Second Karabakh War, said President Ilham Aliyev, stressing that elders, coaches, sports specialists see how much the attitude towards Azerbaijan had changed because we represent a victorious country, a victorious people. The other said that we fought a war with dignity according to all the laws of war. We did not fight against the civilian population. We did not bomb the houses. We did not commit atrocities. However, in the hearts of our people, there's always been a sense of revenge, stressed President Ilham Aliyev, because the Armenians committed genocide against us. Policy of ethnic cleansing was carried out, and there should have been a sense of revenge. But I said that we will take revenge on the enemy on the battlefield, said the head of state, and stressed that the whole world, all military experts, have repeatedly noted that Azerbaijan waged this war with great professionalism and skill, achieved what it wanted in a short time, fought the war with dignity, observing all its laws. That is why the losses among the civilian population on the enemy side amounted to less than 30 people. This is because these civilians were involved in the fighting, stressing that in many parts of the world they were and are now going on and unfortunately will be wars. The head of state said that if attention is paid to these wars, then both the Azerbaijani people and the entire world community will see the greatness of the Azerbaijani people and responsibility of the leadership of Azerbaijan, noting that this is an additional incentive for our athletes because we represent a worthy people in a country that deserves great respect. President Ilham Aliyev added that athletes and the generations to come after them will always represent a victorious country because our victory is eternal. We are the people who liberated Karabakh from the enemy, the people who created life on this land, said the head of state. President Ilham Aliyev also spoke about the need to create a sports infrastructure in the territories liberated from the occupation, noting that the relevant sports facilities are provided for in the master plans of all cities in the liberated lands. Federations, the Ministry of Youth and Sports should already submit projects because the master plan of cities provide for the placement of sport facilities, the head of state stressed.
Bir sözlə, əziz dostlar, uşaqlar, məşqçilər, mütəxəssislər, bir daha sizi təbrik edirəm. Sizə yeni uğurlar, yeni qələbələr arzulayıram.
Thanking for the meeting, the head coach of the Azerbaijani freestyle wrestling team, Namik Abdullayev, noted that they always feel the attention and care of the head of state to sports. He informed about the awards won, emphasizing that in the team event, our athletes became European champions for the first time, and this is a record result in the history of freestyle wrestling in Azerbaijan. The head coach also noted that in November this year, Azerbaijan will host the World Cup in Greco-Roman wrestling, emphasizing that bigger competitions await our athletes. Namik Abdullayev said that this meeting would be a great stimulus for them, and the athletes would do their best to please the head of state and our people. President of the Wrestling Federation, Mikhail Japarov, stressed that the valuable recommendation of the head of state in connection with the ongoing work in the Wrestling Federation served as the basis for them. We promise that all our athletes and coaches will do their best to adequately represent our flag in the future, and we will provide the necessary support, said Mikhail Japarov.
A total of 10 billion cubic meters of natural gas from Azerbaijan were delivered to Europe through the Trans-Adriatic pipeline. Commissioned in December 2020, TAP has proved an ever-increasing flow of Azerbaijani natural gas from the European market so far. The delivery of 10 billion cubic meters of natural gas to Europe just over a year shows that TAP is successfully fulfilling its mission. The policy of Azerbaijan on diversification of sources, routes and markets is bearing fruit. At present time, more than 28 million cubic meters of gas is transported to Europe through TAP per day. Thus, the TAP does not only increase the contributions to the European consumer energy security day by day, but also strengthens integration of Azerbaijan to the European gas market. It should be noted that TAP is an integral part of the 3,500-kilometer-long Southern Gas corridor, which transports gas extracted from the Shakhdanis-2 field in the Azerbaijani sector of the Caspian Sea to Turkey and from there to Europe. Prospects to increase the transmission capacity of the 878-kilometer-long type pipeline to 20 billion cubic meters provide opportunities for the expansion of Azerbaijan's natural gas export markets in Europe in the future. A delegation led by the Turkish Mine Action Center visited our country. During the meeting at the Mine Action Agency, the sides discussed future cooperation and exchanged views on the activities carried out by both organizations within the framework of the Explosive Ordnance Disaster Awareness Program. They also exchanged views on conducting non-technical research training, improving the use of information management and geographic information systems. It was stressed that it is significant for the agency to coordinate large-scale demining operations in Azerbaijan. It should be noted that in order to expand cooperation between the sides, a memorandum of understanding is expected to be signed in the near future within the humanitarian demining activities. That was all for the day. Thank you for being with us and see you next time.